Goo goo gaga. Please like and subscribe.
I left a brewery tonight as soon as we walked in because of a child's birthday party. It was supposed to be me and my two close friends going to our regular brewery with food for my birthday. Walked in and saw an entire child's birthday party being held there. And yes, this was for the actual child, not an adult. We promptly turned tail and left, and one of the staff who recognized us as regulars actually chased after us and gave us each coupons for free snacks. They serve warm soft pretzels and things. For next time we came in because he was so apologetic. I just made a post similar to this not even a few weeks ago about kids running wild at another, different brewery. This has been after 6 p.m. on the weekend. What the F? Am I going to have to go back to clubs like when I was in college to enjoy some booze and friends without children running amok? I'm over it. Someone please explain to me why the hell you'd take little kids to a brewery. Because having kids won't change our lifestyle. I'm laughing out loud. Or as my friend said during her pregnancy, everything will go back to normal after the birth. They all say that. Lies. Aren't there already family-friendly places for this? Why should a brewery be a place for a kids' party? They shouldn't be allowed at all. I tried to go to a certain place. It's a Pacific Northwest chain of breweries predominantly located in historical buildings, about once a month. I am very lucky that the dimmed lights and atmosphere make it so that while children are welcome to dine at their establishment, it's a far cry from where anyone under the age of 21 would want to celebrate their birthday. I really don't understand why breweries allow and encourage birthday parties for anyone under the age of 21. If you wouldn't have the birthday at a vineyard, why is a brewery okay?
Kids sure party hard nowadays. This just made me howl. Anytime. Kids gotta have that gin and juice.
The only brewery in the last town I lived in has this same exact issue. There are kids everywhere. I can kind of accept it on a Sunday at 2 p.m. Not a Friday at 9 p.m. And it's not just that there are kids everywhere. It's that the jukebox has next to no hard rock or metal because that music isn't kid-friendly. I've literally been told to watch my language, because there are kids in here. News flash. It's an effing brewery. Of all the places I shouldn't have to worry about children or their feelings, or their ones who shall not be named parents' feelings, it's here. F the owners of that brewery. If they want to cater to kids, let them change it to a play place. Who the F has a children's birthday party at a brewery? It's a brewery. I'm pretty sure that's not an appropriate setting for a children's birthday party. Do parents not realize that breweries are places where alcohol is produced? Like, the whole point of breweries is the alcohol. I don't understand why everything has to be family-friendly. Next thing you know, parents are going to want to bring their kids into strip clubs and adult entertainment shops. It's getting ridiculous. There are some places where kids just do not belong. What the F? What idiot people who shall not be named have a child's birthday at a brewery? I used to work at a brewery with a large party room. This is surprisingly common. Even more common is taking youth sports teams there after games and tournaments. After observing this for the year or so that I work there, I've decided that most parents really don't want to be around their kids. If they have to be, they need a beer or two to make it tolerable. One theory I've heard is that those parents don't want to deal with other children's noise, so they deliberately take them to inappropriate places like breweries and bars so they only have to deal with their own child's noise. It's like they think a Denny's is going to sound like a Chuck E. Cheese or something. I shake my head. You chose wisely. Meanwhile, I've only been in a bar-type place twice while I was a child. Once, I was just passing through with others because we were going to the basement, and the other time was to use the restroom. But my dad went in and asked if I was allowed in to go. I had to wait outside while he did so. Going there for a birthday party. That's effing stupid and irresponsible. I wonder if they actually make less money on those nights. It must scare many normal customers away.
We walked in a brewery one time and got our beers. 10 minutes later a lady, and about 6 little kids walked in and they run wild. We chugged our beers and left. Forget that. Every once in a while I contemplate great philosophical questions like, what was the single greatest invention in world history? Birth control, my friends.
I live in Ohio. We basically have dive bars or breweries. If you just want a nice drink and to chill, you have to go to a brewery. And there are always effing kids. It's apparently the thing to do now. Take your kids to the brewery. Note my sarcasm. I hate it. Make sure you let the brewery know that you left because of that. They may actually change their policies. This happened to me recently too. Only it was a pub. It was 7:30 p.m., and 2 kids were trying to look around the corner of the room to see if it was their teacher eating in the other room. Only to do this, they had gotten up. They had come over to where our table was, and were standing right next to my elbow with their hands holding the back of the spare chair at our table. This is whilst I'm eating. In a pub. Without masks. I dramatically turned to see if I could make my annoyance clear to their parents. But no, they were not paying attention. Eventually the kids went back to their seats. I said loudly to my friend, if they do that again I'm going to start swearing progressively loudly until their parents can hear. Because here's why I was so annoyed. I used to be a teacher. And you end up spending your private life feeling like you live under CCTV. Kids see their teachers as celebrities, but they are real humans. It was just plain selfish that the parents allowed their kids to stalk the teacher when it was 7:30 at night, and in a freaking pub. Why did they? Because it meant they got quiet grown-up time at the table. Parents are the worst. That sucks. I once went to my favorite restaurant for my birthday. And I had chosen an unfortunate day because it was drinking time and a football game was going on. And I had forgotten my earbuds at home. All in all, that was a shifty dinner. And I had a massive headache afterwards. I can't even. And I don't want to imagine what it would have been like with a children's party there, too. I hope you're able to enjoy a super peaceful time at the brewery next time you go. My friend and I were seated right next to a child's birthday party at a Bavarian place. We could hardly hear ourselves, and the toddlers were running laps around our table. #pandemic regulations. F the world. And we asked to move. The manager still felt it necessary to make passive-aggressive remarks, but the staff otherwise happily reseated us. It's just unfortunate. Society is such that we feel obliged to feel guilty for asking to be moved away from inconveniently placed children.
I'm glad a staff member realized why you left. Maybe this will trickle up to management so they can be reminded that a brewery is an adult-focused venue, not a kids' hangout. I was out at a loud, dark, noisy bar with 2 friends last night. There was lots of drinking and swearing going on. It was not at all kid-friendly. It's worth noting it was at least 10:30 p.m. Someone comes waltzing in with a child that couldn't be older than 6. This seriously begs the question as to why on earth you thought it was appropriate to do that.
We have a local bar near where I used to work that has all sorts of raunchy posters that the owner creates. He does create and maintain and defends an adult atmosphere at a bar and grill. It is not kid-friendly. It's in a really nice area too. And occasionally people will bring their kids. I have heard many a story about how parents get totally pissed when little Jimmy comes back from the bathroom asking what oral agreements are because he read it on a bathroom poster. When the people complain that their precious child saw such a poster, the owner or manager etc. basically tells them to pound sand because this is a bar. A bar is not for children and they can basically shove it. And let me tell you, whoever comes up with the verbiage for posters are effing hilarious. I wish I could think of one right now, but I'm drawing a blank, but they are catchy and usually crude. Often there is a lot of sexual innuendo. It's so great.
Who throws their child party at a brewery? A surprising number of people.
I've come across some of these family-friendly breweries and I always bail right away. To be truthful, their beer usually blows anyway. This is just a correlation which I've seen traveling the East Coast. F kids in any type of bar setting. Was this at the place where I went tonight? Because holy hell, there was some crotch goblins running amok this evening. And we had to get out as fast as we could. Why the F do parents think anyone wants to listen to their shrieking demon spawn while drinking beer? Next thing you know, they will have kids at strip clubs and throw birthday parties there. Every brewery I went to over the summer had swarms of children and drunk parents not paying attention. I went to another one last night and the band had to adjust their set lists because they were singing songs with swears in it. And they didn't want to do it in front of children. It's bullshiz. What the actual F? What is wrong with these parents? How about if you decide to have kids, be the mature person and take them to some place they'd actually enjoy for their birthday, like a place where other kids are? I've been at one of those wine tastings, held in a tent, where there are a dozen or so wineries pouring out samples. You have about an hour to get as many samples as you can, taste them, write your notes, vote, and leave. People bring kids in strollers to these things, when the tents are already packed to the gills.
This is a case of selfish parents, ruining their kid's birthday as well as ruining the good time of everyone else near them. What kid wants to go to a brewery for their birthday? The parents are twats. You should definitely mention this to all breweries you visit where this is happening, let them know that they're losing customers.
Oh God. We were going to a concert on Friday, and we had to wait for a pizza pie we ordered for dinner. The pizza shop has its own bar next door, so we decided to get drinks. Cue a bunch of screaming kids jumping all over the tables like a jungle gym. And the adults were encouraging it. Then they were yelling at the kids that this is a public place the second one of them gets hurt, like they weren't egging them on. This was after having to deal with an incredibly obnoxious family on the train ride into the city as well. Other people in the bar started complaining about the kids. We didn't even have to.
I am flabbergasted. Perhaps these idiots are not aware of actual child-friendly places like Chuck E. Cheese and whatnot. But my guess is they have their entitled heads so far up their entitled cake holes, that they cannot even recognize. Much less use logic. Seriously, I would have walked out too. Who the F goes to a brewery and expects to see a guy in a Big Bird costume entertaining toddlers? Ah, yes. I won't change my lifestyle after becoming a parent, so you all have to adapt to me. And just deal with my screeching kids. Type of ones who shall not be named. I sure love those. Note my sarcasm. I try to wait to go to breweries until late for this reason. If there are kids there after dark, I'm still going to talk the way I talk. Krista brought Braden to my domain, sorry. I'm not going to censor my thoughts about weed, sex, blasphemous rock and roll music, the threat of religious theocrats, and why some soccer teams effing suck. And why some are effing legend. I want pony. It's my pony.
It baffles me how lightly people take the decision of having kids. Like the title says, I've always shocked how often people talk about having kids. Like it's some easy quick decision to make, when having children is at an 18-year commitment at the bare minimum. And by most calculations it costs $250,000 over the years. That's not a decision to be made lightly. It's also one of the very few truly permanent decisions you can make, to paraphrase from a post on the internet I saw 5 years on. If you have regrets, you can divorce the spouse. You can quit a job. You can sell a home. You can cover a tattoo. You cannot, not have a child. If in any other context you impulsively decided to make a 20-year and $250,000 commitment that you couldn't get out of, they would warn you against it. But that's fine with kids because kids are miracles. Yuck.
Please like and subscribe.